Hey, and we're on. Hey, welcome, folks, for this special Sunday afternoon edition of the Mike Seibert Radio Podcast. I am your host. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I had a little bit of time. I had a few minutes before I'm set to record with the gang from Autopod Decepticast, as well as Greg from Unfunny Nerd Tangent. We are going to be recording an episode of Autopod Decepticast on the classic, iconic episode of Season 2 of the G1 Transformers cartoon called Autobop, aka the one where Starscream runs a nightclub of hypnotized dancers and everyday folk. But more than that, it features Blaster v Soundwave, Dawn of Justice. You watch the two tape decks go mano a mano, and hilarity ensues. Plus, there's breakdancing and 80s street punk kids and music references, and it's a jam-packed episode. It's an episode when the APDC gang started transitioning from talking about Transformers the movie minute by minute and talking about episodes of the G1 series. They asked me, they're like, "Hey Mike, which episode would you want to be on?" And I said Autobop, and they're like, "Dude, that's deep into Season 2. Do you want to do something a little sooner?" So I've since been on their show a few times, talked about Heavy Metal War and Auto Berserk, and I think maybe that's it. I'd have to check the notes to be sure. But anyway, I had a little bit of time before I'm scheduled to go on with those folks, and I wanted to share a little bit of mail that I got. So we're going to do a little mail call. I am going to unbox the Shout Factory 35th Anniversary Transformers the Movie 4K. Since it is in a box and it's a handsome box, I thought it would be kind of cool and kind of worth it to explore that for a couple minutes. And I think while I'm here, I'll talk about some of the other stuff that's going on with Mike Seibert Radio and recent episodes and upcoming episodes. So yeah, I'm just going to hang out here for a few. If you want to jump in the chat and ask me questions or, share comments or concerns, talk about my super cool Soundwave t-shirt from the Hasbro Pulse, feel free and join in and knock yourselves out. So I did want to start with a little bit of housekeeping. The most recent episode I put out, I actually put it out on Friday. I had some life stuff, some work stuff. Recently, it's become harder for me to get more podcasts out more quickly. So I'm still kind of trying to find that hobby work balance, but I'm working on it. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I did just publish an episode. It's out now. It includes my review of Black Widow, and I did something a little different. I did a completely spoiler-free version of it, and then did a extended segment where I talked more about the plot and some of the more harder spoiler stuff. So those time codes are in the show notes, and that's something that folks have been requesting of me to do for a very long time. They're like, "Well, I would like to listen to your episode about the Terminator movie, but I can't because you do it in full spoiler, so I just have to avoid it." So trying out a couple different things. After you listen, let me know what you think, if that's something you want me to continue or if it's just something that's not worth it. So anyway, so that's that episode that's available now. I also, since we're here, just kind of doing shout outs. Nope, that doesn't work. There we go. New logo. I've tweeted about this and I talked about it in the episode, the new podcast, but my dude Andy, who also did the design work for Icon Online, he helped me out with some design work, so logos, banners, things like that. So you're going to be seeing more of those in my post, including here on the live streams. Backward cameras are hard. I don't even know why I bother. One episode, Nick, and there's time codes within the episode to let you know where the spoiler section is and where it isn't. I give plenty of warning. Like, I play the trailer and I say, here's my non-spoiler thoughts about Black Widow. Then I'm saying, okay, well, I'm done with that. Now I'm transitioning into spoiler town, and I even throw in some Star Trek red alerts and things like that. So it's very explicit when it shifts from non-spoilers to spoilers. So you can start the episode just fine, and then there's a really clean punch-out point if you don't want to be spoiled. But speaking of Andy and Icon Online, I did want to let you guys know that all of the Icon Online panels are now available out on YouTube. So if you missed them when they were live back in January, or you missed them once they rolled off of Twitch after 14 days. So those are available for you now. And since we're talking about Transformers the movie, a really cool podcast I'd like to guide you towards is a podcast called Excelsior Journeys, hosted by a cool dude named George Sirois. And he had me on his show, and we basically talked for an hour or so about Transformers the movie as he's getting set up to do basically 5 weeks worth of content on his show, Excelsior Journeys, all about celebrating the 35th anniversary of Transformers the movie. So his episode number 98 of Excelsior Journeys is available now. You can go grab that. It's episode number 98. I'm on there. And then we recorded extra interviews for him for my show, and that will be available this coming week on Mike Seibert Radio, my interview with George Sirois. But again, if you're a fan of Transformers the movie, go check out his podcast, and he's got some really cool stuff. Every Tuesday in August, he basically breaks down the legacy, the origins, all of the cool stuff regarding Transformers the movie. Let me see if I actually have it here. Oh, yeah, okay, so he has the full schedule here. Dropping on August 3rd, it's the development of the movie, 2 years in the making. On August 10th, he's doing an episode called The Voices, which would feature voice actors Susan Blue, who voiced Arcee, Neil Ross, who voiced Springer and Slag, Greg Berger, the voice of Grimlock, Michael Bell, who was Swoop, Scrapper, and tons more. But the thing I'm really excited about is he got the narrator of the Transformers, the one and only Victor Caroli, to be part of that panel as well. That's going to be a real special episode. On August 17th, he's going to talk about the music of Transformers the movie with composer Vince DiCola. August 24th is the aftermath. Basically kind of like talking about the box office failure of Transformers the movie, and how it was a bomb with critics and audiences, and how it took a number of years for it to find its audience, and why now it's a cult classic. And finally, rounding out the content on August 31st, on August 31st, an episode called Legacy, where he's gonna tie everything all together. So that's 5 episodes dedicated just to Transformers the movie. So again, check that out. That is George Sirois, Excelsior Journeys. He's also gonna do interviews with Ron Friedman, who is the writer of the movie, as well as story consultant Flint Dilley. So that's something really cool to look forward to. I had a blast talking to him. And if you like my show and any of the stuff that I do, check his stuff out as well. He basically does on the literary and author side. He talks to a lot of up and coming authors. It's basically like what I do, but with like author book people. So it's a lot of interviews with up and comers and independents. So that's super cool as well. Let me see what else I got coming up. Oh, I'm going to be talking to Michael Andrews, Too Mage, Too Furious. We're going to talk about his duology, the Coming of Mage saga, Coming of Mage, as well as the sequel, A War for the Mages. That's a interview show we've been looking to do for a really long time, and it'll be kind of nice to really pay that off. And we might be teasing a future project that Michael Andrews and I will be working on that might be a little too furious, but stay tuned for that. I mentioned that I will be chatting with Greg from Unfunny Nerd Tangent shortly with the Autopod Decepticast guys, but a couple things from him. Recently, I was on Unfunny Nerd Tangent. We talked about Big Trouble in Little China. That was actually my first time watching the movie. I don't know how it had been 35 years, but somehow that was a weird blind spot for me. But anyway, I watched the movie. Caleb from Autopod Decepticast was there as well as Neo from Matt Mania. That was a really fun episode. It's been a few weeks now that actually came out at the end of June, and they've since done review episodes of Black Widow and Loki, neither of which I was a part of because I hadn't watched them in their entirety at the time. But still, Greg and Unfunny Nerd Tangent, that is a really fun show. And since I'm talking about Greg, check out Transformers Reanimated, the new issue number 24, Piranacon Part 1 just dropped, and then they also just dropped a new episode of their audio podcast reading, script reading for The Terror Within Part 1, and that featured couple folks. I know Stuart was on there, maybe Dog Cates was on there as well. But anyway, go to transformersreanimated.com. So there's a brand new script with a cover art by Ryan Jett from Autopod Decepticast, and then there's also an audio version of Terror Within Part 1. So tons of cool stuff there, transformersreanimated.com. What else? I later, possibly within the next week or so, I'm looking to connect with Lita, also from Icon Online, and we're going to talk about Snake Eyes. I saw the movie last week as part of the press. I am talking about it at my day job on Monday. But for the podcast for Mike Seibert Radio, I'm going to go a little deeper with, everybody knows Lita as a Alita 1 super fan, but what folks might not know is that she's also a huge fan of the Silent Master, the Ninja Commando himself, Snake Eyes. So I know she saw the movie, and so I think that's going to be a really fun conversation. We don't actually have that on the books yet, but looking to do that soon rather than later. And keeping it back with the Transformers the movie content, I am also going to be talking with Dave Cabal, Retro Cabal, out on Twitter. He's again, it feels like this month of content that I'm doing is like crossing off lists that I've been meaning to for, in some cases, years. I think Dave Cabal and I have been trying to do a podcast where he and I talk about Transformers the movie, probably since before TFCon LA back in March of 2019. So it's been a long time coming, but he is going to join me on a podcast soon, sometime within the next few weeks, to finally talk about Transformers Reanimated and Transformers the movie. Sorry. So much Transformers, so many robots in disguise. But anyway, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm reluctant to aggressively promote it, but a big interview that I have coming up hopefully soon is I am also going to chat with Vince DiCola, the composer of the Transformers, the movie. I've been going back and forth with his manager over the last several weeks, and we're just kind of trying to get our schedules to line up. But once we do that, he's already agreed to be on the show. He's excited to chat with me, and I am excited to chat with him about his brand new solo album, which is called Only Time Will Tell. It is unique and interesting but as my good friend Chris Sicard recently told me, he's like, that's a polite way of saying it's terrible and you don't like it. It's not that, but it is ambitious and it's challenging. And I have found recently that my threshold for things that challenge me musically aren't necessarily always my cup of tea, but it's this really cool project that Vince DiCola worked on during COVID. He had COVID and was quarantined, isolated, and I think he just kind of threw himself into the studio and created a whole bunch of new music. He gets crazy experimental with some instrumentation, and it's a prog rock album through and through. He's got some really cool guest vocalists, including Stan Bush, who obviously did the Touch and Dare on Transformers the movie, but also he's got like the guy from Journey, the dude whose name escapes me off the top of my head. Maybe somebody can drop that in the chat, but as well as a few others that I don't specifically recall off the top of my head. But it is an interesting, if not slightly challenging listen, but I am eager to talk to Vince DiCola about that album, as well as, of course, his work on Transformers and Rocky IV and all of that. And then I guess lastly, before I kind of get into the meat of things, I mentioned this during the podcast, but I talked to Chris Sicard, the lead singer of Waking Things, recently, and we did a 2-part interview about his new upcoming solo project called Critter. That's when we talked about things being unique and challenging, but those a really good batch of songs. But I'm totally burying the lead. What he had mentioned during our interview is that he is going to drop the album Critter on August 6th, which was going to be his daughter's due date, his first with his lovely wife, Emily. And I just opened up my Facebook about an hour ago on my way driving up here to the studio, and I saw a lovely picture of their brand new baby girl who just entered the world today. So I want to welcome into the world Beatrice June Sicard, June 25th, 2021. Little bee, fly through the window, find molasses candy. So she's absolutely adorable. So I want to congratulate Chris and Emily on the birth of their new little one. So that's so there's that. So it was a weird way to end that. So there's that. But no, I think that's about all I've got coming up. I figured since we're here, I would do a little bit of unboxing and share some stuff with you. Holy smokes, Nick, you've been lighting up the chat. Okay. All right. So let me see if I can hammer out some of this stuff real quick before I get into the unboxing here. Nick, did you order Unicron from Hasbro? No. Too big, too expensive. I do have a little bit of buyer's remorse in that I was never going to keep it. If I was going to back it, it would be to make sure that the project was successful, but then I was immediately going to flip it. And seeing the resale prices, I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't. I might have to ask Aaron about his, because he's the rumor is he's got some serious buyer's remorse with regards to his Unicron, and I've heard more than a couple folks also talk about having some buyer's remorse with regards to Unicron and the size and where to store it. What's the largest Transformer you've gotten? Generation 1 Fortress Maximus. I got it for Christmas in 1987. My aunt and my grandmother pitched in and bought it for me. And I've talked about this a number of times, but the box, when I went to go unwrap it, I thought it was a Nintendo. Because I didn't have a Nintendo Entertainment System at that point, and the box for Fort Max is a similar size and shape, and I went through this emotional roller coaster of like, oh my God, I'm getting a Nintendo, to, oh my God, it's not a Nintendo, oh my God, it's Fortress Maximus. So I still have him. In fact, my aunt and uncle just recently came down to our house to kind of check out some of the remodeling we've done, and my uncle sees Fort Max in the entrance of my studio office room, and he just points at it. He's like, that's pretty cool. Yes, it is pretty cool. It's kind of gone into disrepair. I should probably do some restoring on it. It's heavily yellowed. It's been thoroughly played with. The stickers are crinkling. It's not in good condition, but there he is. He's one of the centerpieces of my collection, for sure. Or listen to Kevin Smith's podcast to get all the spoilers. I think that's in reference to Black Widow, but yeah, Kevin Smith might come up in some of our discussions, especially with Greg. I don't necessarily have time or opportunity to unpack it here now, but just kind of go to twitter.com and see some of the discourse regarding Masters of the Universe Revelation on Netflix. Apparently Kevin Smith lied and people died or something. So maybe I'll unpack that in the future. Brian Johnson, hey, how's it going? I saw that you had to jump out for internet issues, but thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Let's see. Will Cybfest come back in the next few months? I don't have a date for Cybfest Northwest, but I have heard that the team has picked a date. And as soon as I know that date and I'm privy to it and the circumstances, because we weren't sure if it was going to be an in-person convention or if it's going to be an online thing or a hybrid thing, I'm not sure. I don't have those answers. I'm not privy to it, but Cybfest Northwest 2021 will be happening. So stay tuned to Mike Seibert Radio for the latest and greatest on that. Have you bought all of the Studio Series figures? Only the Studio Series 86. And yes, I do have all of them. I pre-ordered them day one, both waves. So more or less, I'm playing the Hasbro Pulse Roulette. I have Na the Sharkticon and Slag or Slug or whatever they're calling him, his Slag, and Retgar all on pre-order. If I see them in the wild first, I'll grab them, but most likely I think I'm just going to wait for my Hasbro Pulse pre-orders to be fulfilled because they get there in good condition. I've kind of gotten over the hump of being salty about Hasbro Pulse fulfilling their orders last. Like, they're on the shelves now. You can find Dinobot Slag on the shelves. I'm a member of several Facebook groups, and they're not plentiful, but people are finding them out in the wild. And I do get that FOMO. But I also know that since I did pre-order with Hasbro Pulse, that it will be fulfilled eventually, and it'll be in the best condition possible. So that's all I have to say about that. Michael Andrews, thanks for the shout-out. Mikey, that's me. Pizza Tossin' Mike, of course. Michael Motorcycle. Yes, we will be talking about Coming of Mage series very soon. Let's see. Nick, why is America's hero G.I. Joe Snake Guys a British guy? I'm not in the casting department, but what I will say is I enjoyed Henry Golding's performance more than I was anticipating. It's still kind of hashtag not my Snake Eyes, but it's not bad. Nick Lindsay, C. Colin Hamilton. I don't like musicals, so no reason to see Hamilton. Okay, all right. This is Toby, Alpha Magnus, He-Mang. I need more nearly nude muscle men punching stuff. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna leave all that there for now, and I'm just gonna do some quick unboxing here. Feel free and fight it out. It's like, let them fight. So the first thing I've got for show and tell, Apollo came up to Washington yesterday from the Portland area, her and her adorable corgi Jazz, which incidentally, if you ever want attentions and want to like engage with strangers, get a dog and get an adorable dog like a corgi. Jazz is adorable. So she came up and hung around with me and Lucky for a couple hours. We kind of checked out Point Ruston and kind of walked around for a while. Just kind of enjoyed the day. But and it was a lovely visit. It was great to meet Apollo in person finally, and it, after corresponding online for all of these years. But she brought me a goodie bag that I thought I would share some of these nice gifts that she shared with me before I get into the Shout Factory unboxing. I am really milking this out. So the half dozen of you that are watching, it's like, I came here to watch you open up a Blu-ray box. Sorry, I'll get to it. Just trying to, I guess make the show more full and a little more worth your while. But anyway, so she gives me this, gifts me this box, and the first thing inside, I kind of saw it already, but check this dude out. It is adorable plushy Soundwave. I love him. He's my new best friend. And it's interesting because I had seen this on sale at retail, and I passed on it because in all of the pictures I saw, I could see his eyes, which are cute, but not Soundwave. But I really appreciate that his Soundwave visor here. And again, I will be joining the Autopod Decepticast crew in just a little bit to talk about Autobop, which was the G1 Season 2 episode where Blaster fought Soundwave. And but anyway, just I like that his little visor here kind of doubles as a sleeping mask. It's like you put it over your eyes. But so he's got his little plushy shoulder cannon thing. And he's super adorable. Now, I did not realize this until I just pulled him out of the bag and held him up. But there's also a cute little enamel pin on there, and I totally missed that yesterday when we were visiting and I was going through the stuff. And again, you could see where it's got his eyes instead of the visor. But anyway, super super cute. So I just wanted to thank Apollo for that. Also hooked me up with a keychain. I think these are the Dollar Tree ones, if I'm not mistaken, and they've also got like Bumblebee and Optimus and Megatron and all of that. But that's super cool. Surprising amount of detail on a little keychain, so that's super neat. She also gifted me a little chibi, chibi Soundwave. I like him. He is going to go nicely at my desk. But also, she gave me a lovely card, which is handwritten. I'm not going to read it to you, but it's very nice. Just basically thanking me for my help during Iacon Online, and also gifted me some Iacon Online stickers. So this is actually a magnet, and this is a sticker. And again, both of these logo designs were done by Andy. You can check out his stuff, Go Andy Robo, out on Twitter. He designed the Iacon Online stuff, as well as the brand new. Oh my gosh, I need an accelerometer on my. There we go. The brand new Mike Seibert Radio logos, which I hope you guys are digging. All right, well. Let's see. More comments. Adorable Corgi Jazz sounds like a future anime title. You're absolutely right, Michael Andrews. Nick, pit stop at Stargazer Comics. They have a lot of Transformers for sale there. I will definitely check that out. Shout out to those guys. And Michael Andrews, Mike Seibert is withholding attention from my dog by not opening this movie. All right, we're going to get to it right now. All right, so first I got this giant box from Shout Factory, and so I pre-ordered the movie whatever day it went up on sale for pre-order. In fact, I'm going to bring up the Shout Factory website right now. Give me just a sec. Shout it, factory out loud. Turn it up louder. Because let's see if there's any additional, it doesn't even matter. What am I talking about here? All right. So anyway, screw this noise. We are just going to go through the box here. So as you can see, it starts with Shout Factory paper. This is actually pretty good paper here. Let me see if, well, now I'm distant from the microphone. This isn't going to work. Anyway, so I got very nice heavy grade cardboard paper. And also before I reveal, so I see this and I know what it is. I pre-ordered from Shout Factory the new 4K, and I don't remember what the length of time was, but for that first run of pre-orders, they were going to throw in a lithograph poster of the new cover done by a dude named Matt Ferguson, who's done a lot of work for Transformers the movie now for this 35th anniversary release. But so I see this box, and I think, cool, it's the poster. No way it's the movie, though. It's like, okay, cool, they're going to send the poster separate. They're going to give it to me now, and that's fine. So I open it up, and I see that there's a tube. And I open up the tube, and obviously it is the poster. So it's, it's Shout Factory, Beyond Good, Beyond Evil, Beyond Your Wildest Imagination, Transformers the movie. So this is a new image done by Matt Ferguson, as I had mentioned. He's done several pieces of art for Transformers the movie, which I think I'll talk about in a completely different video, because it's not necessarily part of this Shout Factory release. But I'm trying to see if I can get this freed here. It has Scotch tape, so I'm going to try to undo the Scotch tape without damaging it. Am I going to be able to do that? No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to have to very carefully cut the Scotch tape on the binding here, pull that aside, and then we will reveal the poster here. Again, it is Beyond Good, Beyond Evil, Beyond Your Wildest Imagination. And there you go. So there is the brand new poster from Shout Factory, done by Matt Ferguson. I believe the dimensions on this are either 16 by 20. It's not 24 by 36. It's not that big. But as you can see, it's big enough. The print quality is good. It has a matte finish. It is not a glossy poster, which you might be able to see on camera here. It is not a glossy poster. It is very matte, and you can see that especially here in the lettering. It's a cool image. I really like it. I will say, ooh, it smells good. Smells like brand new copy paper. It I don't want to say it's low rent, because I don't think that's, but this is a bonus that they just threw in for folks that pre-ordered from Shout Factory early. Like I know my dude Diecast pre-ordered through Shout Factory, then saw that it was on Amazon for a couple bucks less and canceled his order. Not only has his have the Amazon orders not been fulfilled yet, I got mine. He don't got his, but I get the poster. I will gladly frame this and I will gladly display it next to my other Transformers the movie posters, including the original and also the 30th anniversary for Shout Factory done by IDW artist Livio Ramadelli. That's the one I have with all the autographs on it. So it's really cool. It's a really cool edition. The paper quality is fine. But yeah, it does kind of have a Kinko's texture to it. So it's not, I would say it's not the highest quality, but it's not the lowest quality either. I'm glad that they threw this in. There was no extra charge for this. So this is literally just a bonus thing that they threw in for me pre-ordering it through Shout Factory. So I can't complain. It's I agree with Nick. The finish on the poster isn't shiny, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but it's fine. I mean, for a freebie that they want to throw in, that's fine. So, but then I pull out the poster, and then I even as I'm knowing that it's the poster, just based on the shape of the box here, it's got some heft to it. This box had some heft that I wasn't anticipating, and even as I opened up the outer container, I was like, "Is the movie in here?" I didn't expect it. I think the way Shout Factory put it, they were shipping on August 8th. The limited edition lithograph, by the way, sold out as of May 25th. So this must have been back in May when I pre-ordered it. So anyway, let me see. Oh, it doesn't say what time, what day it ships, but I swore that the disc was going to ship on August 8th, but I'm glad I have it now. Why do people like glossy finish? They should call it glare finish. Gloss finish was invented by J.J. Abrams. Lens flare. See, that's a good point. Michael Andrews has a really good point, because if that poster that I just had out had a gloss to it, you wouldn't be able to see it. So, yeah, I think he's onto something there. So anyway, I open it up and I see that there's an inner envelope, and my heart kind of skips a beat because I know they did indeed send me the movie. So here we go. So without any much further ado, let's see what's waiting for us in here. And it is, it's him. It's here. And this is the 4K Ultra HD plus Blu-ray 35th anniversary Steelbook Blu-ray from Shout Factory. Now, the sticker on the front says limited edition Steelbook with 4 exclusive art cards and new bonus features. I don't know what those art cards are. We're going to find out together. That's actually really why I wanted to do this as an unboxing. And then also it's got this new Transformers the Movie 35th anniversary logo, which I think is really neat. It's very tasteful, very subtle. Where's my camera there? You know, one of these days I'll get good at this stuff. Today is not that day. Yes, it is a steelbook, and we'll get to that in just a sec. Transformers the Movie celebrates its 35th anniversary with a brand new 4K restoration. So this is different than the previous Shout Factory edition with the Livio Ramadelli cover that was a Blu-ray. This is a 4K. So this is the front, and on the back it has the bits and description. It says the year is 2005. For millennia, the heroic Autobots led by Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, have been at war with the evil Megatron, Frank Welker, and his Decepticons over control of their home planet of Cybertron. However, an even greater threat, Unicron, Orson Welles, Citizen Kane, they wrote that here. A colossal converting planet that devours everything in its path is heading right for Cybertron. Spoilers, dude. The only hope is the Autobot matrix of leadership. Also, spoilers, dude. Will the Autobots be able to save themselves and their home world in time? An all-star cast including Judd Nelson from The Breakfast Club, Leonard Nimoy, Star Trek, Eric Idle, The Monty Python films, top billed, by the way, and Robert Stack, The Untouchables, brings this imitable inimitable vocabulary is apparently not my yes. Let's see. Brings the imitable, explosively entertaining Autobot adventure to life. This is poorly written. So there are a number of special features on here, both new and repurposed from previous stuff. There are trailers and TV. See, I could be holding this up while I'm reading this, so you can actually see it. I'm a YouTuber. You got trailers and TV spots, storyboards, featurettes, audio commentary with director Nelson Shin, story consultant Flint Dilley, and voice actress Susan Blue. That's an old, actually that is an old ass commentary. That goes back to the 20th anniversary DVD that Sony did, literally 15 years ago. It's still really good, though. There's also a documentary called Till All Are One, a comprehensive documentary looking back at Transformers the movie with members of the cast and crew, including story consultant Flint Dilley, cast members Greg Berger, Susan Blue, Neil Ross, Dan Gilvezan, and singer-songwriter Stan Bush, composer Vince DiCola, and others. I think that those are holdovers from the 30th anniversary Shout Factory Blu-ray. So they're only 5 years old instead of 15 years old. Now, new stuff that's on here. 2016 private acoustic performance by Stan Bush. Now, previously, the only place that was able to be seen was during the theatrical exhibition of Transformers the movie back in 2016. 2016? No, that's not right. No, that was like 2017, 2018. I don't know what this is. I was thinking that those were during the theatrical exhibition. After the credits, they showed Stan Bush performing in his backyard. He performed acoustic versions of both The Touch and Dare. But if those are from 2016, then that's news to me, because I thought that they were new, because like that was also is kind of like a preview to kind of commemorate the release of the Bumblebee movie, which was going to come out that Christmas. So this would have been 2018 if I'm not mistaken. So I'll look into this and report back. There are also new feature-length storyboards, which I mean, there are archives out there of the completed storyboards, so maybe there's a feature where they are shown, and then of course, obviously, the new 4K restoration. All right, so enough. Let's take a look at this. Nick says, will Livio's old cover art be the artwork on the inside of the steelbook underneath the Blu-ray? Well, we're about to find out. So, let me get my scissor here. I'm going to very carefully try to, I'm going to cut along this edge here and just kind of gently perforate that supple, soft plastic. And we're just going to peel this off here. Man, we're doing ASMR. I have a Transformer Blu-ray. I don't think that's how that works. All right, so we're pulling this off. So now the cardboard sleeve on the front and back is kind of loose, and here you can kind of see a little better the holographics in that Matt Ferguson cover there. Ooh, that's actually really cool. That kind of catches the light pretty well. So it is definitely holographic, and the thing I see now that I have kind of like the cellophane off is that there's a pattern of kind of like the Unicron background where Rodimus Prime is wielding the Matrix. So let's Let's cast this aside. And so here's the front of the steelbook, and here is the side. We saw all of that already, but what's on the back? I'm looking at it now. It's pretty dope. It is, you dude, Galvatron, beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your wildest imagination. And it's basically, I think this folds out into like one image, but it doesn't have any of the special features that I just read off. So I need to hang onto this guy so that I know that this has storyboards and whatever. But on the back of it, it just says shoutfactory.com, hasbro.com. Hasbro is a registered trademark of Hasbro, blah, blah, blah. It is an official steelbook. It has the official steelbook logo and website. It has the Shout Factory logo, and it has the official Transformers the Movie 35th anniversary logo. So let's crack this open and see what is inside. So first, we pop it open, and you see discs. You have what is I'm assuming this is the 4K disc, widescreen UHD. One of the things that folks are kind of pissy about is that the widescreen version, or I'm sorry, the 4K restoration is only for the widescreen. And without getting too deep into the woods, folks that know that the widescreen is not actually the correct aspect ratio of the movie. It actually crops off the top and bottom. It's not it's not like a Snyder cut thing, but the original quote unquote standard is technically the correct aspect ratio because it has the fullest picture of the animation. The commercials say it's an incredible adventure in widescreen animation, but it's not. It was made square. So when they made it rectangular for theatrical exhibition, they actually take off the top and bottom. I'm rambling. So the second disc here is the Blu-ray and the special features. I would imagine this is the one that is not widescreen, full frame. That was the terminology I was looking for, full frame. But this is obviously the iconic going through the O of the movie. This is an original piece of art from Matt Ferguson. It is not from the movie. He hand drew that. It's super cool. So Michael Andrews, let me see. What do you do with the back? Oh, sorry, Nick. What do you do with the back description page since it doesn't stick to the book? When I display it, I'm just gonna soft put it on there and just stick it on the shelf like that. That's how my 30th anniversary Shout Factory Steelbook is. So this will be fine right next to it. It's lame. It's kind of corny, but I get to kind of have it both ways. Michael Andrews mentioned it's really cool because as a whole, it's the final moment of that final face-off with Galvatron. So that's kind of how it looks. Like that kind of butterflied open, and that is pretty cool. It's almost a shame that the spine kind of gets in the way a little bit, but again, look at those details in the holographies. That's actually pretty dope. That is an unanticipated detail, and I didn't realize that until I took the cellophane off. Okay, so now that the discs are removed, you can see that there's an envelope marked 35th anniversary Transformers the movie and a background here that I think I know what it is, but let's find out together. You pull the envelope away, and it is indeed a moody piece of the Chaos Bringer himself, Unicron. He is about to devour that Lithone planet and eat the Space Mall people dead. Arbalest, look, it's Unicron. And again, this is an original piece by Matt Ferguson. It is not a still from the movie. So that's really cool. It does not appear to be reversible. So this plastic tray seems to be really, really stuck in here. So I think this is the art that we have. You got this, and then you got this. So that's the art. Now, the contents of the envelope. Let's find out what's in here together, because I know Toby is crossing his fingers for a digital code. I don't know if there is or is not. So let's find out together. So we're gonna open the envelope here. Ooh, hey, I'm gonna set this down. Yes, marvelous. Look, it's Unicron. Nothing else in the envelope. I think I got everything out of there. All right, so we have a series of cards. These appear to be stills from the movie. Again, beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your I don't know why I can't say that, because I remember when I talked about this like 5 years ago, I misspoke and said beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your wildest animation, and I think I trip myself up every time I go to say it, so now I never say it right. But anyway, here is Hot Rod holding the Matrix. Nothing just on the front, nothing on the back. That's a still from the movie. You got yourself a One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall. Again, it's just simple cardboard. Nothing on the back. That's pretty cool. You got yourself a floating Unicron head. Destiny. Yeah, and again, nothing on the back. Some folks are about to be real disappointed here. And you got yourself Such Heroic Nonsense. So all four of these are stills from the movie. And they say Transformers the movie, Beyond Good, Beyond Evil, Beyond Your Wildest Imagination. And they have what are pretty iconic shots. You got the Such Heroic Nonsense. You got Unicron's head floating at the end of the movie. You got yourself a One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall. And then, of course, Hot Rod holding the Matrix right before Optimus Prime, spoilers, takes the pass. Now, what I don't see anywhere here, or... Oh, hang on. Oh, they're stuck to the table. Or here, which incidentally, I don't know if you could see this on camera or not, but no, you cannot. Because of the way Blu-rays and 4K discs are, you can see the image on the other side. Again, the camera doesn't pick it up, but it's kind of interesting. So, Toby, I know you're already annoyed by the widescreen, but your day is just getting worse, my friend, because there does not appear to be a digital download code here anywhere. So I'm incredibly sorry for that. But overall, it is a handsome set. I do like it. I'm glad I got it. I definitely will be, let's see, Target was the only place that said it came with a digital copy, so they will be in trouble. Do other 4K versions have a digital download? Would that translate? Short answer is I have no idea. I don't even know. Now, the thing that I got to wrap up with this because I got to jump on with the APDC guys very shortly, but the last thing I want to mention is obviously, I mean, this is great. So if you could get it cheap on Amazon, do it. Because again, it is a very handsome set. Huge downsides is the no digital code. I do think that these particular art cards are, I don't want to say cheap, but there's nothing on the back. They're not glossy. They are the same finish as the poster. So if I decide to put these in like a frame and frame them next to the poster, they will look handsome together. Michael Andrews, I'm living vicariously through this unboxing as I do not have 4K for capabilities. That's good. I know folks that don't have a 4K player that are buying this. I happen to have a 4K TV and I happen to have a 4K player just because that's what they were selling at Costco when I moved. This is actually the first 4K Blu-ray I've bought, and I've had my 4K TV for over a year. So I mean, it's kind of whatever for me. Last thing. This is not the only Transformers the movie commemorative box set coming out, and this kind of caused a little bit of controversy. There is also a exclusive box set coming from Zavvi. Now, Zavvi is a UK company, and it is a UK exclusive. So I thought I was going to be out in the cold until I talked with Yoshi and Greg during an interview when we were talking about Transformers Reanimated Year 2, which that'll be coming up in the next few weeks on the Mike Seibert Radio podcast feed. And Yoshi just tells me, he's like, well, I just bought it. I'm like, yeah, but it's UK. He's like, yeah, but you could still buy it. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this. So I went ahead and ordered it. I actually ordered it from Zavvi Australia because, like, with the conversion rate, it's like $2 or $3 less, but it's still $70 US with shipping, and it's not the Steelbook, it's the standard 4K, and it has other stuff in it. It has more Matt Ferguson art. It has a different poster, and other goodies that I don't have off the top of my head. But once I get that, I think that's dropping in October. But it's a UK exclusive, so I don't know if that 4K disc is going to play on my player or not. I might just be buying a $70 souvenir just to have it. So, and I know folks are throwing down for this just to have it as a souvenir. So, kind of take that as you will. Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for hanging out with me as I talked about things that are coming up on the podcast, as well as hanging out and watching this unboxing. If you want to listen to all of my shows, check out Mike Seibert Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And wait, that's not how any of that goes. That's not how any of that goes. I forgot what my outro was. That is incredibly embarrassing. I think I'm just scrambled because I'm trying to rush to get out of here. But that will wrap things up for this very special live stream. Thanks a lot for hanging out and for all of your cool questions and interactions. And again, we're starting the 35th anniversary of Transformers the movie. Check out my interview with George Sirois. It's on his podcast, Excelsior Journeys, and then he'll be part of my show this next week. If you want to listen to all of my past shows, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, or wherever the heck else you listen to your podcasts. And you could check out the full show archive out on SoundCloud, 5 years and over 300 episodes worth of podcast shows out there. And join us again for one of these Mike Seibert Radio podcast live streams that is streaming on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Like, share, rate, and review the show. Let me know what you'd like and what you'd like to hear more of in the future. And go listen to my Black Widow episode because 11 of you voted on Twitter for me to do it. So, for Mike Seibert Radio, my name is Mike. Until next time, tell all are one. Make good choices. I'm going to leave now. Goodbye. Prepare yourself. Yes, it's going to happen. Bye, suckers! Pew, pew, pew.